So how is it going, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 video. And today we're going to be doing a breakdown of Bethesda's live stream of the Nuka DLC. For those of you who don't know or didn't tune into it, Bethesda was actually streaming about 1 or 2 hours ago Nuka. They showed off a bunch of new gameplay, like the process of how you get to Nuka, little bits and pieces here and there, and at the final part, they also showed off a bunch of things in regards to the Nukecade, all of which is going to be broken down in this video. And if there's one thing I will say, they did a very good job at stopping spoilers. They skip ahead just to make sure that nothing is really spoiled. It was just a very sort of small gameplay stream, just to show off some of the aspects of what we're going to be getting. So nothing too major, nothing too big, but it's definitely worth covering, and let's jump straight into it. So this begins with the Nuka World beginning quest, and of course that is to make your way to Nuka World. And in typical DLC fashion, they start off by tuning into the radio station, and then once they've tuned into the radio station, it will then give them a location to go to then make it to Nuka World. And in this case, this place is known as the Nuka World Transit. You can see here it's pretty much off to the left side of the map, so they do actually go ahead and fast travel to a location nearby. And this is sort of like an add-on to the base map. It's like another area that's been opened up. You can see sort of the Nuka World bottles and the Nuka World sort of fashion there. And the Nuka World transit location seems to be held up by a bunch of raiders. So of course, you can go ahead and take them out, sort of search the area around you. It seems like a decently sized area to actually explore before even going to Nuka World. But anyway, once you have taken out the raiders, you can then make your way down into the main area of the Nuka World Transit. And this is where you will find the monorail that you will be using to travel to Nuka World. Now, as soon as they got down there, they did skip ahead. That, of course, is to make sure they don't show off any spoilers or anything like that. So I'm not too sure if you have to do anything down here besides actually hop on the monorail itself and just go straight to Nuka World, or if there's a bit of a quest down there where you have to get it up and running or something and then go there. But either way, they do actually skip pretty much to the end of the monorail. So, you know, as soon as they've arrived to Nuka World and actually got off the monorail, and the first thing you'll be doing is going through, I guess, a test area, I'll call it for now, known as the Gauntlet. And this is basically an area that you'll be progressing through. There'll be a bunch of traps all around you. There'll be several ways that you can tackle it as well, with like several different doors with question marks on them. You better damn know that some of those doors are going to be traps and stuff like that. But it seems to be this split into different segments area where the raiders can toy with you a bit. Again, it's almost like a test area where you have to test your skills, I guess. There'll be different areas where there's one with like turrets in a complete hallway, just loads of them, which is kind of crazy. You've also got this one area as well where you have to like go on these very thin boards and try not to fall down into, I guess, the Mirelurk pit, which is pretty cool as well. And again, it's just an area for the raiders to toy with you and see what you can do in the area itself. And a couple of things I do want to mention about this: in one of these segments of the Gauntlet itself, we get to see one of the brand new creatures known as the Rugrats. And these look like your typical really annoying creatures to face off against. These are brand new. Again, you know, these weren't actually spotted from the trailer or anything like that. And in the same scene as well, he turns the corner and he comes across his very first animatronic alien. And if you guys seen the Nuka World trailer, you would know like these guys were also spotted in the trailer. A lot of people thought they may have been real aliens with the old Fallout 3 styled alien blaster, but the majority already knew that this was going to be some sort of robot or animatronic that you'll have to fight against. And seemingly, I don't think you're going to be able to get the Fallout 3 alien blaster off them. I don't know if they even drop ammo for the alien blaster or something like that. But that is seemingly a trap there, also placed in this area of the Gauntlet. But anyway, moving on here, they move into another segment of the Gauntlet known as the maintenance shed. And inside of here, you get to see some of the rides that seem to be broken down, or some of the parts for the rides, I guess you could say. Of course, they're fitting the theme of Nuka World itself. You also get a first look at, of course, the flying ants. And these guys look like a real pain to fight against, especially those little small ones, because they look like they're going to be quite hard to hit. But here's our first look at those. They don't look too difficult in terms of like the amount of health they have, but very interesting look there at one of the brand new creatures again. And then they eventually move into an area which is almost like a caged area with raiders on top, from the raider gangs. We actually get a look here at one of the operators and one of the disciples. And for those of you who don't know, there's basically 3 raider gangs in Nuka World: the pack, the disciples, and the operators. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see any of the pack members, which personally, that's the raider gang I'm most looking forward to sort of checking out and seeing what they're about, because we do know from the trailer that's the colorful looking raider gang. It also seems as well that the brand new AK, you know, it has this really colorful scheme to it. That may very well be to do with the pack raider gang as well, and I want to get my hands on that weapon like ASAP, because the damn thing looks crazy. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't see any pack members as they do progress here to the final area, which of course is the Cola Cars Arena. And I do believe this is the sort of ending part of the Gauntlet, as you guys will see here very shortly, and also bring it up on screen as well. From the Nuka World map itself, you can see the the Cola Cars Arena here on the right side, and then just outside of it you can see Nuketown USA, which is also connected to it. And as soon as they enter this location, they very quickly try to load up a different save because they don't want to show any spoilers. But for a split second we get to see the guy in the electrified brand new power armor. Again, this was a scene from the trailer, and this is where you're going to be essentially coming across this dude. Now, I don't know if you're going to be fighting him here and killing him here or something, whether or not you're going to be able to get this dude's power armor, which looks crazy by the way, is yet to be known. But this is where you will first encounter this guy at the very end of the Gauntlet. But anyway, moving on to the next scene, this is essentially where they've loaded up to, which is in the middle of Nuketown USA. You know, Nuketown USA seems to be this main area or hub of Nuka World. You have all of the park zones around it, and Nuketown USA seems to be sort of the main area. And this is just as they've exited the Cola Cars Arena, by the way. And there's quite a few things I want to mention here. One is you can see very quickly, as soon as they're there, you can see the market sign, and I believe this to be the huge circle area spotted on the map. For those of you who don't know, this map is pretty much exactly how it's going to be in game. It's almost like, I guess, a 3D version of it. So what you're seeing on the map is pretty much exactly what you're going to be seeing in game, just with an in-game styled map, of course. And this circle area right here, which has nothing in it on the map, is seemingly going to be a market. And again, the reason I say that is the market sign on top. And that is more than likely where you're going to see, several different vendors and stuff that will sell things to you. Hopefully some very unique weapons and armor these guys are selling as well, so we can get a look at those. I'll also feature some of those in the video as well, if that is going to be the case. And the next scene they move into is talking to this greeting robot, or I guess information bot, known as Nira. And this is a really funny conversation. Nira, I guess, is split into 2 personalities. One that will give you information and just, tell you about the different zones and stuff like that. And apparently she was tampered with and has this other really mean and rude personality that will just pretty much tell you to go away and stuff like that, which is really funny. So there's the first introduction to Nira. Again, moving around, you can see some of the scenery around Nuka World itself. Don't really want to dive too much into detail on that. But one scene here you can see is directly from the trailer clip. You can see the raider shooting the Bottle and Cappy statue. You can also see as well to the left we have the Nukecade. To the right we have what seems to be an operator's bunker, I guess. You could not really bunker, operator's I guess location where you're going to be meeting the operators and stuff like that, because of the operator logos all around. And pretty much from this point onwards they skip directly into the Nukecade and the final part of the gameplay they showed off. And this is really cool because it does give us a little bit more info surrounding the Nukecade itself. And the first thing I do want to mention here is the machine they go up to and use. And this is a machine with what seems to be a place where you can exchange your pre-war money for Nukecade tokens, and then using these Nukecade tokens that you've just got, you can then go ahead and play on the arcade games. And the good thing about the gameplay is they go on a lot of the arcade games. You can see this sort of shooting range one, and how it works is you sort of have to bend down or look down, put the coin in, and then that will start up the, of course, the arcade game here. And you can see the guy's first attempt, he's trying to shoot the targets as they go along. He's not doing a very good job at this, but the next guy who does it, he pulls out a freaking minigun and he just starts spraying the whole thing down and then just leaves. It was really funny to watch. But as you can see, once you do complete the arcade game, the tickets pop out below, and you can then go ahead and pick up the tickets. And I do want to mention this because I don't know if I like this, but they have actually stated when they were sort of developing this part of the game, they was wondering whether or not they should go sort of with the Raider style, and you know, maybe you can cheat, you can figure out certain ways to do these, or just have it where it's just one way you have to try and do it. It can get quite difficult. But no, they pretty much went the cheating route. You can do it exactly how you like. You can pull out a minigun, you can use that in the shooting range. You'll see later on as well, you know, the Hoop Shot arcade game, they end up pulling out a junk jet, and you literally use the junk jet to try and get the balls through the hoops, which is crazy. So you can really think of inventive ways and I guess ways to cheat these arcade games. Again, not really too sure if I'm a fan of this. You know, with arcade games, I do like them to be quite challenging and stuff like that. Without ways to cheat, but that's just my opinion, and I know a lot of people would definitely disagree with that. But you can see here now he does move on to the next arcade game, being the Hoop Shot, I believe. And you can see as they're trying to throw it through here, you know, some of them go through. He seems to be getting points as well for just hitting the rim of the ring. I'm not too sure if that's a glitch or a bug or if that's supposed to happen, but he is getting points there literally just for hitting, you know, the thing itself and not actually getting the balls inside. But as you can see, he does progress here and he does manage to actually get a few in there. The next one they go to is the Red Menace, and they essentially get this weapon. I believe you can use this as a weapon as well, because it does actually go into the weapons category known as the Commie Whacker. And of course, this is what you're going to be using to whack and actually use it on the arcade game itself. And this one looks a little bit more difficult because the way you swing it in the game right now, it's like a very slow and sluggish type of swing. So it doesn't feel like this would really suit the arcade game too much. But either way, that is the Red Menace machine. And then they move on to the final one, which of course is the Atomic Rollers. And basically, this is going to be the one where, you know, you're trying to get the ball into the best holes possible. And in cheating fashion, they actually ended up doing it where they just pick it up, literally jump onto the machine, walk it over there, and then drop it into the hole itself. But I don't think that's going to be the best way to do it. Of course, you need to get as many down there as you can, as quick as you can. And doing it that way probably isn't the quickest way of doing it. But rest assured, I will have tutorials out for the Nuka, the fastest way to do it, the best way to get tickets. And from the gameplay they've shown, it seems like the shooting range is going to be the fastest, just from the sheer amount of tickets they got from the shooting range one compared to the rest of them. And the final thing I do want to mention about the Nuka, they didn't even, you know, mention at all or show what you do with the tickets you get. Of course, there has to be an area to get prizes and stuff. And I think it's going to be this area here. This looks to be the very middle back area. It seems like there's a terminal there just for no reason. It looks like this sort of big red cap on the wall is going to drop a prize out. That's just the idea I get, because there seems to be, I guess, a little platform just below it. I don't know. That's just the impression I'm getting from this. It seems that way to me. And that is one thing I do want to mention there, just in case this is going to be where you cash in your tickets. But aside from this, they don't really show off too much more gameplay. You know, I would have preferred it if they showed off more of the park zones. They don't really show off any of the park zones apart from, you know, I guess the main hub area being Nuketown USA. It's something I would have preferred, but again, they are trying to avoid as many spoilers as they possibly can, which in turn is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, this is the gameplay they showed off. This is a quick breakdown of it from the information that we've got so far, and I thought I'd go ahead and bring it to you guys in this video today. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like as well, guys. Your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so, because I am going to be covering the Nuka world in its entirety, rare weapon guides, rare armor guides, gameplay streams, and much more on the channel. But aside from that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace out.